Welcome to Imperium Podcast, where we invite entrepreneurs that work in the construction industry or any other industry that is related to the construction industry, which is the heartbeat of the UK economy. Okay, I only worked as an employee for only 3 months, and that was the 3 months between me finishing my university degree and between me getting my entrepreneur visa. And I used to work in a very similar company, and I was just so amazed by how the quality of engineering and the quality of construction that was taking place at that time. And I saw a big potential and a big opportunity in the market where it would be so easy just to penetrate the market and to actually start my first company. And that's how it all started. Let's be real. It is very hard to get the right balance, especially when you're trying to run more than one company, trying to run more than one project, when you have a lot of responsibilities, when you have all these people working with you. So it's just very hard. And I always expect my family to really be very understanding and to understand that I have chosen this route. That's why they need to be very understanding. And to be honest with you, they are. But I always just try to maintain to be there when it is something very important or it is an important occasion. I'm always there. But I would say 6 days out of the 7 days of the week, all my mind and all my attention is only towards work and towards business. I always believe and I always want more when it comes to business. And when it comes to my own business, I always try to be very creative. I always try to find where is the opportunity in the market. And we always try to expand on that. For example, recently we started working with the social housing. And for us, that was a very new area to start working there. We're now working with, I think, 7 or 8 borough councils across London and outside of London. So that for me was pushing the boundary because my team in the office, they're always used to work with private clients. And working with a private client is completely different than working with the social housing. And also for us, it was a very challenging. It is still for us very challenging because it's very different. You can be getting 1,000 jobs a day that need to be addressed instead of getting 2 jobs a month. And the difference is these 1,000 jobs a day, they are uh, big quantities but very small values, which is very complete different model than what we are used to. So I just always try to see where is the opportunity, where we can take Imperium Engineering to the next stage and to the next step, and then hire the right people around me. You are always as good as the people working with you. So I can never take full credit and say I'm good at what I'm doing. No, I'm only as good as the people that work with me, and I think I'm blessed with a lot of the staff that work in Imperium Engineering to have them as my team. And I think we are only 8 years old as a company now, so we still have very long to go, and we are still exploring what else we need to do in the next step, how we can be better. For example, we have a client that contacted us yesterday. He want us to do for them a project in Paris, that to do for them the construction of port in Paris. So for us, it's really challenging because I will have to mobilize my team from here to go to Paris to work on such a project. Uh, I don't say no. I never say no for an opportunity. I said yes, of course. I have 2 of our team members are flying over this weekend to go and check the project, and this is always our motto. We just always want to push ourselves to be better. Everyone in the team, they feel that they are so proud when we achieve something because they know that this has been achieved only because of their efforts and of their work. So ideally, I would just say we just always want to see where's the opportunity, and we keep going, 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 because there's opportunities out there. It just to be brave enough to go and explore the opportunity. And we are not really scared of failure whatsoever because we have had a lot of projects that didn't go as planned, and we just have to hold our hands up and just need to go back and rectify them. And I think that's why clients still come back to us, and that's why we are able to expand and we are able to grow bigger. And we will always be pushing boundaries. Regarding property developments and property investments, I would say that we have the goal here to be one of the biggest housing providers in UK and hopefully in Europe one day. That's why we just buy aggressively as much as we can. We develop aggressively, and we look in areas where the mediocre property investor or mediocre property developer will be scared to touch. And we will be able to explain about this a little bit more. Stress for me is very unique because if I'm not stressed, I'm always so bored. And I would say that my life is boring right now. I need to do something to keep me stressed. But my point is sometimes I'm so overly stressed. That's why, for example, this device here yesterday sent me a notification that I have been stressed for 4 hours. So, which I think sometimes it's overwhelming. But my whole point is, I believe as an entrepreneur, you are stress is the actual fuel for you to keep working. Because if you're not stressed, you'll not be innovative. You'll not find new solutions. You'll not push your team to do better. So I think it is really how you deal with stress. Is you either take it to your advantage or you just makes it your enemy. I think as a property developer or as a property investor, it is very hard to identify what is your most rewarding projects, because as you keep going on, you will acquire more projects. You will find better projects that are more rewarding than others, but you'll never know till you buy them. But I would say up to now, the most rewarding project was a project that we acquired that was a parade of houses that had severe structure issues, and that went into a sealed bid. And we were lucky enough to buy it because I think there was no one other than us bidding on the project, because it was very complicated. And as our experience and our history as structure engineers, and as Imperium Engineering being a structure engineering company, so we had here all the right team members to be able to fix the problems. We fixed the problems. We refurbished all the houses on this parade, and then we refinanced it. And when we refinanced it, we actually doubled the purchase price. And for us, that was very rewarding because it was not expected to be that high or to be able to fix it that easy. But I would say that because our background is structure engineering, and because our background that we are also building contractors, so we like properties that no one wants to touch because they are very scared that they might have some structure issues or whatever are the reasons. So for us, this is our cup of tea. I think it is disruption and dominance. I think as a company, you want to keep on disrupting the market and dominating our market share and have a bigger market share as much as we can. And I like to always challenge my team members to always have the problems and to find solutions. So I would say the most personal values are dominance and disruption. I think mentorship is very important. I still remember my mentor, and he was very brutally honest with me. And he used to tell me in my face if I'm doing something bad. He'll tell me this is shit. This need to be changed. And I think that was the best, because technically you are starting from where they have stopped. The mentor will always give you the best advice based on his experience. And if they have been working for 30, 40 years, so you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from 30, 40 years. I hate criticism, and that goes completely against what I said about my mentor and my mentorship. Because I always believe that for someone to criticize you, they either need to be better than you or they need to understand the circumstances that you have at the moment when you were making this specific decision. And a lot of the time, and as all entrepreneurs out there, you really have always a battle in your mind and no one knows anything about it. So I always feel it's very unfair for someone to come and criticize me, because I'm always criticizing myself and always want to be better. But you don't know what's going in my head. You don't know what is my next step or why I'm doing this, the amount of stress and liabilities that we're having at the moment. So that's why for me, criticism is a little bit unfair unless it is coming from a mentor that has experienced similar stuff like this in the past, or can actually guide you through the right process. I would say you always need to know your bottom line. The final number on your balance sheet is very important, because it is very easy in the construction industry to lose everything overnight if you're not aware how much is your outgoings and how much is the money coming in. This is very important. And the construction industry is very, very, very rewarding, but you need to make sure that you have the right team. You need to make sure that your operatives and everyone is doing the right job. So I would say always make sure that you have the right team around you and you're always looking at the bottom line in your balance sheet. There is a project in particular that taught us a very tough lesson. It was a project in Rochester where we were going to buy a land to build 4 executive houses. I think the average size of the house was around 6,000 square feet, and all the houses had swimming pools. It was such a beautiful project. The project location was in a very nice spot at top of the highest point in Rochester, where you can see Medway River and the motorway. It was such a brilliant and a beautiful location. It was also an area with outstanding natural beauty. So we had to do some enabling works before we start the project, and it was some ecology works. We had to remove all the slow worms from the site, and you only really had 2 months in the year to do this. And that was sometime in the summer where we were only allowed to do this. Otherwise, if we don't do this in time, we have to wait for the next year. And at the same time, concurrently, we were negotiating with the lender the terms for the loan, for the development loan. So we have agreed with the seller that we are going to start doing the ecology stuff till the lender finalizes the loans, and then we can actually purchase the property, purchase the land. And then the seller approved that, and we went ahead. We cleared the whole site. We still did all site was a big site, was like 3-4 acres. We cleared the whole site. We removed all the ecology. We removed all the slow worms. We followed all the ecology plans, and everything was going perfect. And then Liz Trust came to power, and 1 week, I think, before completing on the after we have fulfilled all the requirements, 1 week before completing on the purchase, and the lender sending us the money, they have changed the interest rates. So at that stage, really, the lender pulled out because the project was not viable for them anymore to be able to give us the loan at this interest rate. And for us, the project also was not viable for us at all to take the loan at the new interest rate. So we ended up clearing a whole site, which was around 4 or 5 acres, for the seller for free. We removed all the slow worms and did all the ecology pre-commencement conditions for free because we did not end up buying it. And I think we lost around £190,000 only because the interest rates have increased. So I think that was a very tough lesson, and there was a lot of stuff that we learned from this that we're definitely not going to do again. I think it was to convince my fellow directors and my business partners that it's time now to expand overseas, especially with the big expansion happening in Saudi at the moment. As a British company expanding in the Middle East, and especially in Saudi, it was a decision that was not easy because not everyone here is still accepting the idea to go and work in Saudi. Saudi is not Dubai yet. So if you tell anyone here you can go and work in Dubai, they will all go there running straight away. But if you're going to tell people here, I want to move you to my Saudi office, it is still hard to intercept and how to process and hard to accept. So I think that is still a very tough decision we have done because we are finding it a little bit hard to find the right candidates to move them over there. But I would say overall it was a very successful decision because over there operations are going still better than expected. I think it is just trying to understand how other countries work because the way you open a company and incorporate a company in the UK is very different than incorporating a company in Saudi. Incorporating a company in Saudi, you need to be accepted by the Ministry of Investment and then by the Chamber of Commerce and the Ministry of Commerce. And you need to, there's different tiers for engineering, different tiers for construction, and they assess they assess your previous work, your portfolio. So I think it's much more complicated than what we expected. And I would say that without hiring the appropriate bodies over there, as our solicitors there and everyone there to help us in the incorporation process, I would say it would take us years because it is just so different than how the UK is still much easier to incorporate a company and open a company than doing it in Saudi. So I think it's just having to understand that when you step into a new waters, you need to make sure that you have the right team with you and the right professionals working with you. we have to deal with stress and tough times very differently, because stress and tough times here is like it is your companion. It doesn't matter what is your role in the company, whether you are an engineer, a contractor, a project manager, or just an admin or operation. It does not matter. Stress and tough times are your companions. So it is that everyone here knows that if there is a problem, we just have to speak out about it straight away. It is one more than one brain is better than one brain. Even if I have a problem, I don't sit down like this and just try and think on my own. I just go to the meeting room, get my business partners, and we sit down. This is the problem. What are we going to do? So it is just all about the team that work with you. It's all about how strong is your team, and how I always say I am completely against working from home, because I believe that more than one brain is better than one brain. If you have a problem, if we are having a crisis on site or some issues on site, and only one person is dealing with it, it is so much more worse than having 3-4 team members thinking together about of the best possible solution of how we can utilize our expertise, and how we can find the best solution with and the most effective way. So I would always say it's all about teamwork, and it's all about just building the team spirit together. I think financial pressure is constant when it comes to construction industry and property developments and property investments. And whoever is going to say this is not true is a big liar, because you will always have delays in payments. Things never go as planned. You will always have clients that are not going to pay on time. You'll always have subcontractors chasing for their payments earlier. You'll always have materials prices fluctuating up and down. It is all financial pressures. It's a must. It's a companion through the journey if you decide to work in the construction industry or to be a property developer or a property investor. But I would say the best way to navigate this is just to try as much as you can to have some sort of financial planning, and to make sure that you always have some contingencies. If you start any project without at least having around 15 to 20% contingency, you are destined to fail. And if you're working on any construction project with a profit margin less than 25%, you are also destined to fail, because it does not matter what happens. You still have to calculate. The late payments. Your cash flow always have to remain positive. The only way to maintain a positive cash flow is to always make sure that you know what are your contingencies and what are your margins. If you do not have healthy contingencies and healthy margins, does not matter how big are your projects. It does not matter where they are. It does not matter how good is your team. You are going to fail through failure. The only way you can actually learn this is by having it the hard way. Okay, we had a lot of times where we were not busy and we had to go and take some projects at low margins. And I will tell you that was a very wrong decision, because it's false economy. It does not really matter. And you'll find a lot of people out there doing this. You'll find a lot of contractors taking projects at a very low margins because they just want to keep busy. But truth to come, you will not be able to pay your overheads. You will not be able to pay your salaries with these low margins, because your gross profit is very small. And the only way you will actually learn this, if you have done it, and we have done it, and we are learned the hard way. So that's why contingencies and healthy profit margin is the way. Other than this, you're destined to fail. There is a lot of ways to make passive income, but I always believe that properties is the safest way, and I will tell you why. First reason is the population is growing every single day. All these people will need places to live. It doesn't really matter where you are on the planet right now. We have 7 billion or over 7 billion people living on this planet now. These people need places to live. The number will keep increasing. We need to build houses. In the UK, we have shortage of over hundreds of thousands of houses in shortage at the moment. That's why properties will always remain a safe investment. And when it comes to passive income, if you buy the property with the right price in the right location, I mean, there are 3 or 4 things that you always have to take into consideration when you are buying a property. The first one is the location. You need to be in a location that has the population that is actually growing. You don't go and buy a property near a location where they're all pensioners over there, because the population is not growing there anymore. So the location of the property is very important. the yield of the property is very important. That's why, for example, now some places in central London is not in high demand as other places in London because the yield is not as high as it used to be. Thirdly is the appreciation. You need to check what is the appreciation of the property over the last 5 years. If the property has been appreciating properly and at least 1.5 to 2% every year, no, I even say 3 to 4% a year. If it's less than this, then you don't need to touch it. And the last thing, it is the transportation about the property. You don't want to go and buy a property in the middle of nowhere and then expect it to be rented because no one is going to rent it. You really want to buy properties with good yield, good appreciation in a highly dense populated areas, and then you will always make sure that your properties are getting rented your properties are getting rented with the asking rent or sometimes even higher because the market is going crazy at the moment. And you always be able to choose the right tenants, and you'll be able also to choose the professional tenants. So that's why I will always think that the property market is very stable. You might make more money on crypto, 100%. You can make more money sometimes on gold, 100%. But the difference between gold, for example, and properties, and this is my point of view, gold is very good if you want to park your money for a year or 2 or 3 years. Okay, because if you buy gold today and then sell it after 2 3 years, probably you will make more money when you sell it other than selling a property. But the big difference is the property will generate to you cash flow if you rent it out. So with properties, you get both. You get capital appreciation and you get cash flow and passive income. That's why I think always properties is the best investment to do, at least now. There is a lot of ways to invest in properties. Okay, I would just try and highlight some of them. Let's say the first option is to purchase properties that are below market value. You buy them on a bridging loan. You refurbish the properties and then you refinance them and then you rent them out. And let me explain to you, for example, how you can do this. You go and look for properties that are 50% below market value. This always have to be the point, or has to be what you're looking for is a property that is around 40 to 50% below market value. So then you can be able to use your money again. I'll explain here. So property value, property is on the same road, are worth around £200,000. You look for the cheapest property in the most expensive road. You buy it for £100,000. You buy this property for £100,000. You get this on a bridging loan. You pay only 25%, which is 25 grand. You need 30-40 grand to do the refurbishment works at the property. Then up to now you have spent around £60,000. You don't spend stamp duty because you're below the threshold. You only pay solicitor fees and the interest loan on the bridging loan. So the property is worth, you bought it £100,000. You only paid 25% down. You spend 30 or 40 grand to do the property up. And then now, after you finish all the works, you call a different bank. Hi, can you please come and see my property now? I've done some works. The bank will send the valuer. The valuer will go over there, will check your property. If that property, if you have actually increased the value of the property, like the rest of the properties on the road, then the bank will look at the market value for the property, not the purchase price. And the bank will look, oh, okay, the market value now is £200,000. So we are going to refinance this. We're going to give you 75% loan to value on the new market price. And the 75% of £200,000 is £150,000. That is enough money for you to go and pay off the bridging loan, to pay back yourself for the money that you have invested to do the refurbishment works. And then you will have a property for free. You'll take all this money back again and go again, do another one. And I would say now, as a rule of thumb, really for every property you buy and you refinance, you make between £600 and £1,000 per month after you pay per mortgage. If you have 5 properties like this, you'll be getting 3.5 grand a month. That is over 40 grand a year. Just in passive income, you don't need to work for it. If you do this 10 times, you'll be making over 72 grand a month. You make this 20 times, we doing much. It's just a snowball effect. And I think that this is now, in this current climate, is the best way to make money. And also now the interest rates for the high street banks and the challenger banks is actually expensive. It's around 5%. The whole point, if you now buy it with this expensive interest rate and you just wait, Rent it out, make your £600 a month per property or £800 a month per property, buy as many as you can, and wait. Wait for 5 years or 10 years when the banks drop their interest back again to 1% and 2% and 3%. And you will see you'll be making per property around over £1,000 a month. Your property value will increase. And here, when you actually be a financial free. I would say now the property market is actually getting better, but there's still a lot of opportunities out there because still there's a lot of people doing panic sale because their mortgages is coming to renewal, and then they used to pay 1.5% on their mortgage. Now it's 5%. So there's a lot of panic sale, and that's where property investors find it as a gold mine because then they go there, they buy in bulk much below market price because all these panic sellers, they just want to get out of the loan. They don't want to be have any adverse credit on their credit reports, so they just want to sell. And for investors, it is the best time to buy because you're buying it below market value, much below market value, and most of the times you can actually find the same people that were living in the property that they used to own. They want to stay there as renters because they don't want to get out of the property. So you're buying a property below market value just because you have panic sellers, and then you are renting it to the right tenants, and you're making sure that your properties are tenanted. So I think it is getting stable 100%, but it is time. It's still time for investors. There's still a lot of opportunities out there. There was an auction 2 days ago that had a lot of opportunities. There's an auction next month. There's auction in a couple of weeks. There's a lot of properties out there that are up for sale for very low prices. And I think for investors, it is the right time. I think whoever want to make money in the next 20 years, a lot of it, it's the time for them now to buy the properties, rent them out, and forget about them. And then come and see in 20 years, and you will see. Yeah. I say now is the best time for entrepreneurs to actually start their own companies because I think it was never been like this before. You have unlimited amount of AI tools around you that you can utilize to your benefit. So you have virtual assistants, you have AI tools for marketing, AI tools to build websites, AI tools for replying for emails, for delegation. You have a lot of AI tools around there. So I think the process of building a website or an Instagram page and getting the right audience and all of this, I think there's a lot of tools out there that can actually be utilized. Let me give you an example. If you want, for example, to open, I would say, a coffee shop, okay? Which is coffee shops can make a lot of money if you're in the right location or and you're paying the right rents, etc., or you can really make no money if you're in the wrong place, like all businesses. But for example, let's start with a coffee shop. You can build your Instagram page. First of all, get a lot of audience, okay? Do coffees at your home with shapes, whatever. Make a lot of audience. I'm sure there's a lot of tools out there where you can get audience from your city or your town and to get your Instagram posts boosted to them. You can get a lot of traction on your page, get a lot of followers because everyone is just so intrigued about the quality of the coffee. What type of coffee are you using? The shapes you are doing. You can just make your page really very interesting that you have a lot of people in your same city or town actually looking at this very much. And then all of a sudden, when you have 30, 40,000 followers, what do? You just announce that you are doing a pop-up for a week or 2 weeks in this location as a coffee shop. You get queues of people because all those people that have been just watching your videos and watching your pictures actually want to go and try your coffee. And if you're actually good enough and you're actually good enough and you've been making good coffees, these people, you just do a pop-up for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, you'll disappear. They will be waiting for you again to do your next pop-up, and then you'll have enough money to go and get a small shop and start your own coffee shop. And no one makes more money. No one makes more than local coffee shops and local restaurants in local high streets and local town centers. All of a sudden, you started from scratch. You did not spend any money really at all. You just got the idea, got the right audience around you, did your pop-up, made some money. You went there, you started 3x3 coffee shop, and because it's local, you'll always be busy. I've seen this so many times, especially where I live. The local coffee shops are so busy, and Starbucks and Costa are honestly, no one is there. So I think there's a lot of tools around you now that can be utilized. whether you want to do it in F&B, whether you want to do it in different industries, but there's 100%. If you look properly and you see the tools around you, there is definitely. I think it has never been that easy. I mean, when we started, the only way for us that we were actually able to do marketing was Yellow Pages. Now there's a lot of ways to do marketing. There's a lot of platforms. It's so much easier now, I think, to build up a business and to get the right audience. The most controversial property purchase, the most controversial property purchase that we have purchased to date, I would think it was the parade of 7 houses that we bought from the warranty company for different reasons, because we bought it from the warranty company and we knew that we were the highest bidders and they wanted to give it to someone else. So definitely there was something shady happening in the deal, and I really was not quiet at all. I reached to the regional managers of this warranty company on LinkedIn. I reached to the managing directors of this warranty company on LinkedIn. I have made a big fuss about it. That how come you are selling this and I'm the highest bidder and you still want to give it to someone else when I'm paying you more money, and you actually bought these houses back from the previous owners. How are you how are you selling it for a cheaper price? I made a big fuss about it. Sent emails everywhere. I just made sure that whoever was doing something shady was not I just didn't go through. So, and then I started getting a lot of emails back. Yes, we are a private warranty company. We have the right to sell to whoever we want. Like, all right, okay, if you have the right to, you also of course have the right. But if you already have this person in mind that you're gonna sell to, so why did you put it out for sale? And then you said for highest offers, for me to go there and put the highest offer and then for you to go and give it to this party. I just made a lot of noise, and everyone, my business partners, thought I'm just wasting my time. Next day in the morning, someone emailed me, "Hi, I'm blah 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 from blah 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 company. I have to tell you that after looking into this, we have decided that we want to you to complete the purchase, not the other party, and that has nothing to do with the emails you sent." Yeah, of course, has nothing to do with the emails I sent. Okay, and I think that was very controversial because everyone thought we lost it. Everyone thought that we just wasted our times, and I honestly believe it is very hard to lose if you have a lot of determination. I never let things go. Never, never, never. If there is an opportunity or there's a property or there's something that I want, I will keep fighting till I go there. Whether it's a property, whether it's to getting a property remortgaged by a bank, whether to getting a loan on a property, or whether winning a construction project, hiring someone that we think will be good for the company. I never give up. I think as long as you really know what you want and you just have some sort of sketches in your mind of how you can do it, you are 90% there. You just do it, because trust me, everyone doesn't do it. As long, I am sure, if it was not myself who sent all these emails to the warranty company, my business partner told me, "Kamal, don't do it. Don't waste your time." And I said, "No, I'm going to do it." If it was not me who went crazy on sending emails and just telling them this and that and the other, it will be gone. This property will be with someone else, and the profit that we have done will not be ours. And what we have bought after this property wouldn't be ours now. Everything is really subject to everything that you will achieve in the future is subject to your actions of today.